Well, that was absolutely epic. What a lot of fun to record that was. What a great project this has turned out to be. And look at this place. It is ridiculous. As I said last episode, I put my foot in it. I had an idea, a spontaneous, momentary one. Hey, let's build a squid farm. And then it evolved into this crazy thing right here. You know, I had the vision of the upside down kind of inverted pyramid. I know that's not the correct term for this, but you know what I mean. And wow, it just got blown right out of proportion, but it was well and truly worth it. A very strange site for this farm right here, and we're not finished just yet. We got more to do, and I hope you enjoyed that time lapse. As you may have noticed, that was actually recorded over 2 episodes, because some of what you saw in the time lapse was actually done last episode, and that's because I was going to put a time lapse in that one. And then I just thought, actually, do you know what, this episode's quite long, we're going to leave it out. And so I decided to finish off this area for the beginning of the next one, and so we made a time-lapse. And it was crazy. It took 3 hours to render that time-lapse, because the entire thing was 64 times the speed of me actually playing. So everything that you saw in those 3 minutes was basically sped up, apart from the last time, by 64 times, which is absolutely crazy. And it's always good to do a time-lapse. I just did not expect it to take so long, but now we can log back on and we can play, which is awesome. We can finish up this farm. That's what we're going to be doing. I think I already said that, and I've got some talking to do here at the beginning. So first of all, we're going to go down here and check how many drops we got. I think this was after I recorded the last episode. I decided, hey, we need to put in some hoppers and actually start collecting these. And probably already we've got more than we're ever going to use. So I'm expecting this thing to be full. It's just one chest. And that kind of makes sense, actually. There's a few things that have fallen in here while I've been mining. But if we look in the next one, look at that. Full stacks, full stacks. Oh, that's crazy. Okay, so they go from that side over to this side into the chest, and then each row points into the one right here. So we may see some stacks in some of these as well. It's crazy. We've got a lot of ink sacks, more than we're probably ever going to use, as I said. And that is a successful farm right there. So what do we need to do next? Well, we need to make these walls look nice and pretty. I'm actually just going to fill them in with sandstone, and then maybe put some carpets down on top of all of this. We'll put some lighting underneath so nothing spawns on it. That is something I had not thought about until right now. And then we need to take the items somewhere else. So what we're going to be doing is building a little item collection area, which will also be the same spot where you AFK. And what I envision is that somewhere around here, I haven't picked the location just yet, there'll be like a square opening, and then that will just have a tunnel that goes back. That'll have the portal in it, have some chests and the collection point, and then, you know, you can come through, you can just stand there, AFK, collect stuff, and then you can walk out and see the terrific view on the outside, which really is terrific. This place is just strange and wonderful, and I love it, and it took a lot of time to do. And also, when working on this, I went through about 3 or 4 picks and a couple of shovels as well, just breaking them, you know. Oh, excuse me there. Yeah, these picks, I had made a few of them, and each time they kept breaking before I could even repair them, just because I wasn't keeping my eye on the durability. And I didn't let it get to me. I thought, hey, doesn't matter, let's just go and make some more picks. And so we've actually gone through about 4 or 5. It's quite ridiculous. I've spent quite a few of my diamonds on it, but it's alright, we'll get more of those in the future. And let's just have a look through these chests. You know, the organisation of these went away pretty quickly. I just started dumping stuff. So all over here, there's random chests full of materials. I mean, we've got all the sand and the sandstone we're ever going to use now on the server, and it is just endless. Chest after chest after chest. I was even smelting this stuff for glass so I could get some XP at one point, because I didn't have a lot. As you can see, I've taken a trip to the XP farm. We now have 130 levels, and look, there's chests over the back here as well. It's insane. And I've just realised that my game sound is off, so let's turn that back on quickly. Just send it up to that. And yeah, what are we going to be doing next? I think we talked about everything that I wanted to talk about. Okay, the first thing we're going to do, is right in front of me, is staring me in the face, is sorting out this right here. It looks a little bit odd. It doesn't look quite as spectacular as it does when it's wider. So we're going to fix that. We're going to rebuild this thing, make it a little bit bigger, and then the shape of the body is going to be a little more proportionate to the eyes, and it's going to look pretty cool, I think. So that'll be our first little job, and then we'll move on to something else, of course, as we always do. That's the one. That's the one right there. If you're wondering why I got the fart bubbles, well, I just picked up some delicious rotted flesh, and I couldn't help myself. But there you go. I've been playing around with this, just, you know, moving it up and down a little, putting the eyes in different positions, and I feel like that's the one right there. That looks real good. The right kind of size. Maybe there's a bit too much big of a gap in the middle, but there's nothing we can do about that, really. It's either 1 block or 3. If it were 2, then you'd have a wonky eye on one side, and we certainly don't want that. Let's ender pearl into this guy down here and then kill him. See you later, guy. He's giving me some raw, rotted flesh. Lovely. Love this stuff. Who needs golden carrots, eh? Anyway, yes, that looks really good from down here, actually. And the place where you're probably going to see it from... Look at him dancing. Oh, you are a silly little derp. I'll leave you alone this time. Yeah, I think the place we're going to enter from is probably over on this side. I think I'd be inclined to do so. But I'll actually move around and just see what it looks like from all the different sides. I'm thinking actually this one over here, having probably the biggest slope, would look the best, just looking on from somewhere else, having the little entrance right in the middle of it. And now he's following me, isn't he? He's having trouble climbing up the steps. Ah, this game, it's really derpy. But yeah, so it's going pretty well, but we need more wool. As you can see, I've had to deconstruct a lot of this in the middle just to get enough to make this, because it's so much bigger. So it means I need to get more lapis, more trips to the sheep farm, but we'll get there. I'll come back to you when this thing is done. I'm going to pick up some glowstone as well. Must make a mental note to get that. If you have a look where we put the blocks around the outside, because it's 1 block bigger, it's now made all of this down here very dark, which is interesting. But we're going to put some glowstone on the inside of this thing. And I was thinking, do we actually need glowstone down the bottom here? Because, you know, there's nowhere else out here that's lit up. But then I thought, hey, it'll probably look pretty cool having that area glowing in the dark, which is actually really cool. Especially if we've got light inside the thing as well. But anyway, jobs to be done. I'll be back with you, I think, when this thing is finished. Just come back through the portal to pick up some stuff and things from my base, as Slipgator might say. I'm stuck in the ground and I can't jump up, and there is an outline of a box here, and I do believe I might actually be inside a barrier block of all things. So here on the server, if you do or do not know, we have disabled Enderman griefing by giving them barrier blocks and having a clock system to detect when they place them down. And it looks like this might have failed, and it might have happened right next to a portal, because I'm just sort of stuck here. And I haven't even tried to break the block below me. Oh, apparently I can break the block I'm inside of. Oh, and it's glass. It's not a barrier block, it's... Hello, XB. He's streaming right now, he's up to something. I have literally spawned inside of the glass. That is really strange. That caught me completely off guard for a second there. And, yeah, we're free, so it wasn't a barrier block. I was a little bit surprised, to be honest, because Isa's system made a lot of sense. My thinking was that perhaps as the Enderman sort of walked into the portal, because the area unloaded, it stopped the barrier block from being correctly removed. Because if ever they do place it down within the tick that it places it down, it checks and removes as well, which is pretty cool stuff. But anyway, right, let me pick up these items and we'll get back over to the squid farm. I think they're having a stare-off. I'm pretty sure they're having a stare-off. It looks like Slipgator's winning as well. Oh, and XB has bailed, possibly. Or is he? No, he's going back for round 2. Okay, round 2. This is intense. This is really intense. Oh my god. I don't think I can watch. I gotta turn away here. This is just some crazy staring action going on right now. Oh, what are they like? Slipgator is not going to back down, I bet you that. I bet you I'm going to be standing here for a while. In fact, I've decided I'm not going to leave until this stare over is over. And it's not called a stare over, it's called a stare off. Huh. Oh, and XB walks away. Slipgator wins. Well done, guy. Well done. Let's go through. Oh. Okay, it is done, and I gotta say it feels a little bit weird using the lapis. I was running around killing some skeletons. You can see I got some arrows here, and I was hunting down the bone meal because I ran out of it, and I didn't want to travel all the way back through the nether. And it just kind of reminded me of that earlier gameplay of Minecraft, you know, where you're not kind of in control of everything. Because normally by now I would have like a farm for all of the wool, and we wouldn't have to use the lapis. But it was pretty cool actually, just hunting down some skeletons, getting some bone meal so I could dye or craft the right dyes and get all the materials that we need. So over on this side, Derpy Eyes. This is what JL and Doc M did in their video. I thought it was pretty funny. But over here I don't think it really kind of fits in. I don't know. Just doesn't feel right. And I did it on the one side, and I think I'm probably going to change it back. But that is the squid head done for now. We're going to be removing this beacon before long as well. That's kind of an eyesore, as well as all of this. I have marked out where the entrance for this area is going to go. This bit right here kind of feels right. When you come out of here, you've got a really nice view of everything around you. And I think from other places, it's going to look at just about the right height, you know, around here in the hill. And what we're obviously going to do is make this a little bit bigger. So it's going to be something like, let's say we make this thing 5 wide. And let's do a little building together here. I didn't actually plan on this, but we might as well. So 5 wide kind of feels about right. 3 high would probably be the minimum. Maybe 4 high like that. That feels good. Maybe 4 high is a little bit big. And I love all of this sandstone, makes it so easy to work with. Although we do have haste and efficiency 5. But then around the outside of this, we're going to put these blocks coming across. And then I think we'd actually fill it in at this height rather than go 1 block higher. So if we went 1 block higher, it would be wrong. But anyway, let's just do this quickly. Oh, and I had a great idea. I had a really great idea for bringing the items up to the top, by the way. Can't wait to show you that. We're going to be building that next, pretty much. And how did we do it on the other side? Does it go over? Yes, it does. So something as simple as that will be what it looks like. I might add a little bit of detail. And it doesn't look too big at first glance. Let's just stand back here. Actually, that kind of feels just about right. What I might do is pop it out at the front by 1 more block. But with some lighting on the inside of that at night time, that's going to look especially cool. So that's going to be the entrance. I do like that. Very simple stuff. We're going to make the aesthetics on the inside a lot more interesting, obviously. But then we just need to pick a kind of ideal spot to stand at. And there's a little bit of a problem here. I can't actually see if the squid are spawning when I'm back here. But what we'll do is we'll figure that out. We'll make it so our AFK spot, the spot to stand in, will be where the items come up as well. And they're also going to go into a storage system as well. So somewhere back here there'll just be a place to stand an AFK. And it's kind of a shame actually that you can't see the squid spawning. I think that might be a problem wherever we go. In fact, I'm going to really seriously consider that because I think it'd be really cool to stand AFK and see all of the squid falling down. So maybe what we'll actually do is make this entrance lower down. That would be a way to solve that problem. That, my friends, is a much better view. Let's put down some torches. It's a little bit dark in here. And yes, by the way, all of this was stone, kind of replaced it with sandstone. So now we're lowered down, and there's no squid spawning at the moment. Other people are on the server, mainly XP Crafted, who's in the middle of an ocean. So all the squid are over there. And for that reason, I had to make a download of the map to do a copy of it on my computer, just so I could stand there and see if the squid was spawning, and they were. And the optimal place to stand seemed to be just around here, which is 12 blocks back from the front, about 30 blocks back from where the water is. I think they actually spawn a little closer, but it just seemed like this was the best spot to stand. So what we want to do is bring the items up to this point, and the way we're going to do it is obviously, well, maybe not obviously, but we're going to be using the item elevator where we send items through the blocks. But we're going to be doing it a little bit different, and it might be something you see in an upcoming tutorial. I recently did one on an item elevator, and we can't go down here because there's no ladder. Yeah, so I did an item filter, vertical item filter, and then I learned a little bit more about other things that you could do with that, and we're going to do a little bit of that today. But you might also see a tutorial coming soon where we use the same thing. But enough about that. Down there's some carpet, underneath it some hoppers and some glowstone. We now have a central row of hoppers feeding down the middle, and all the ones on either side kind of branch into it. So over there what we want to do is create a water stream, and that's going to send the items down and around, and then we're going to do something fancy and send them up to the top here. So it's going to take a little bit of preparation and work to do all of that, but then we're going to have an AFK area up here, a portal as well. And once again, I'm just finding all these little jobs, so I thought, you know, that won't take too long, taking a lot of time. And again, this was supposed to be a project that would have been done at the end of the last episode, and as always, you've heard me say it so many times, I just completely underestimate how much time stuff does take. But enough about that, let's get to work here, let's get this thing underway. Item elevators, eh? Supposed to be simple business. Don't ask me why there's a redstone torch here. Nothing seems to be working, so I will tell you why it's here. There was a line of redstone going across the top. We had 2 blocks here. That wouldn't power the dropper. I removed the block here so the redstone was directly on top of the dropper. That wouldn't power it either. Don't know why, but a redstone torch, apparently that's okay. So that thing's getting powered now. This is just going to distribute the items, by the way, so it just dispenses them, they go down the water stream, and then down the end here I'm doing something experimental that I've seen in another video, and unfortunately I'm unable to recreate this. So we have our item elevator right here. This is different because what we're doing is we're aligning the items directly in the middle of the 2 blocks, and they should supposedly travel up the middle here between the 2 blocks, and it means that hoppers further up at the surface where our collection area would be able to take from either side, which would be an interesting thing to do. And now that I've spent a lot of time trying to get this to work, feels like a little bit of a failed experiment. So done a lot of things around here, not going to walk you through all of it, but this is supposedly how it works as I've seen in another video, and unfortunately I just can't recreate it. So I'm going to give up on that idea. Now, we didn't need 2 hoppers to collect the items at the top, but I had a cool idea, a chest on either side, then we could use 2 of the hoppers to put them in either chest. However, I thought of a way where we could simply have 2 hoppers on top of one another, and then those go to either side, and it means one would have a priority over the other. In fact, with 2 side by side, there might still be a priority with this system, but that's about the best that I can come up with now. And just so many things taking so much more time. It's like that, I never seem to learn. But anyway, it doesn't matter because we're getting close to being done here. So we're actually going to dismantle this, revert to just being a single item elevator, and do things that way. See, kind of done it up, kind of done a lot of work around here. I have removed the beacon, I have removed the temporary storage, the temporary portal, the ladder down to the bottom. Everything around here has been finalised. As you can see, it's nice and clean looking, and our entrance is now over here. We've got a portal at the back of the room, we've got some glowstone on the side of these walls. We're actually going to put something there that we're going to make together in a moment, and I was thinking about adding some more detail in this room. I'm kind of tempted to change the roof, but actually I think it's alright how it is, and I feel like I want to save my building energy for another project in the future. This is just somewhere where you're going to stand an AFK, so it doesn't make a lot of sense to spend too much time on it. So the main thing that took up my time was moving all of the materials from the chests over there into the nether, so we'll look at that in a second. But the other thing that I've done up here is set some storage up. So we got, wow, that filled up quickly, and another one over there that isn't full. And then look at this, I mean, the chests were just filling up while I was building this area, it's crazy. But underneath there we got some glowstone, you can kind of see that. and that lights this up. But there's also glowstone underneath this middle bit, and I really like how I've done this. So let's just rip it out and have a look together. Now we've got a circle of hoppers going around like this, and the item's actually going to rise up through the glowstone, which provides us some much needed light in the middle of the room, and then they're going to go into these two hoppers and just go around in a circle. And then you can see this one right here just goes across to that one. There's one over here for that one as well, and so it can pull from them. And that means we can kind of expand this a little bit if ever needed, you know, make a bigger ring of hoppers. It's a kind of interesting way to do that, or an interesting solution at least. But for now, for what we need, I don't think anyone's ever going to need this many ink sacs, so it's pretty good. And right here is where you stand to get the drops, you know, when you're AFKing, and I don't know why I decided to put that in the same place that the drops come up. Probably because when these chests fill up, then you'll pick them up, which I think is pretty smart. But that's it, we're pretty much done here. As I said, I've got one more thing to do with this project. We're going to do something for the glowstone on these sides, but first of all I need to head back and get some materials to do some crafting, because we're going to be making a really cool looking banner that I found doing some Google searching of a squid. And anyway, back here is where all the chests are. I don't think I'm actually going to move these. I'll probably take back some of the useful items, and if ever I need them, then I'll come and grab these. But otherwise, place that right there. This is just going to take forever to transport back, and you can see we've got a ridiculous amount of sand and all sorts of materials. I mean, Zul'jin, if you're watching, you're welcome to come and take this diorite. I know you're in need of it, and there's loads of it here. And so there, these will just lie around, and if ever I need it, we can come over in here and get it. But these are the things that I want to hold on to and take back. So I'm going to take a couple of trips, moving it back the important items, and then we'll do that crafting. And we're back. That sounded a lot like Slipgator. Yep, we're back. I was just watching in one of his videos a while ago. That popped into my head there. So, you know what we're going to do? We're going to be doing some crafting, and this is actually really, really cool. We want 4 of these in total, so quickly let's just get the other banners, and they stack on top of that one. But we have to craft these one by one. Anyway, I'm sure you know how this works. But what we're going to be making is a squid, and I found this by doing some Googling, and one of the things we need is some ink sacs. I wonder where we're going to get those from, eh? Yeah, and this is really cool. So, oh, it's black by default. Well, we'll add that in just to make sure it's not slightly different. But this is what we're going to use to get these squiggly eyes. So the black coming in on the side on there. In fact, if I place this down, it's going to be a lot more obvious. So just using this bit right here to make the eyes of the squid. So what we have to do is just colour in the rest of the space around that. So the next thing we need is an inverted fess, which is where you put the colour down the bottom here. Now, if you remember when we last played around with these banners, we were talking about the names over here. I thought there was something wrong. You guys informed me, and I can't remember if I actually mentioned it in a video, but these are the names for the correct, the correct terminology for banners and flags, etc. They have their own kind of names for where the colours are on them, and they're called fesses and bordereau and I am not good at pronouncing these words. Let's take it from over there. And now we have successfully made ourselves some derpy looking squid eyes. That is pretty cool like that, actually. The picture that I'm looking at, yeah, it's definitely better, but that is not half bad at all. So anyway, let's pick this thing back up and put it in here. So the last 2 steps are to put a border of blue around the outside, and then to make a gradient of black from top to bottom, like so. And that looks really cool. Let's just place that down. Yes, that is awesome. That definitely looks like a squid. So let's clone this thing. And yep, that's the way to do it. Let's take those down and put these on the wall, so they're going to go in front of the glowstone. That looks pretty cool. It's quite dark compared to the glowstone behind it and the sandstone around it. It definitely makes it look a bit duller. But there you go. And that is the finishing touch to this little area. I didn't want to do something over the top and too fancy. And you may complain, you know, why don't you make it look extra pretty? But hey, I've spent a lot of time out here. If you think I've been slacking, just look around here. And that's why this episode is actually a little bit shorter today, because yeah, all of this took an insane amount of time. But it's done. We finished this project. It means we can go back to doing the other ones, and we never have to worry about ink sacs ever again. It's awesome. It's been a heck of a lot of fun. And remember, the tutorial for this is down there in the description box. But that is it from me this episode. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I had a great time today recording. It was awesome. And so I will see you in the next episode. As always, thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you next time. I just said that. Literally just said it. Oh, these outros are getting derpier, aren't they? Anyway, right. See you later. Bye-bye.